after her proposal, Berkshire Hathaway created a new position of Chief Sustainability Officer and a Sustainability Council for all of their subsidiaries to join. Freeda also answered Bishop Barber's moral call to action when she graduated from Al Gore's Climate Reality Leadership Training Program this past March in Atlanta, Georgia, with 2,000 climate leaders from around the world. So we're going to hear from her climate reality presentation this evening, and she is available to present on the urgency of climate reality to civic groups, schools, religious organizations, and other groups. Many of you were able to get a handout, but if we ran out because it's such a great crowd, I'm so glad so many of you are here, but because we ran out of handouts, there is a sign-up sheet in the back, so if you want a handout, you can write your name there, and Freeda will get in touch with you and send you one. So without further ado, Freeda Cathcart. Thank you. Oops, I'm going to leave that.
All right, so the slide behind me shows a tornado in the mountains. This is not normal for our area, but this is climate reality. It's, we've had 3 different F3 tornadoes in the last 3 years. And it's been around 50 years since we've had an F3 tornado in these parts. So this is a result of extreme weather caused by global warming. We've known the science since the 1880s. Basically what it is the sun rays come down and there's energy, and some of it's captured here by the atmosphere, but most of it goes out. Unfortunately, because of all the pollution that we have put up into the air, it's thickened our atmospheric shell, and a lot of the rays are directed back to the Earth, warming our Earth up. The biggest sources of the greenhouse gases that are man-made are agricultural practices, forest burning, transportation, and many other factors. But the main source and cause of rising global temperatures that we are seeing today is the burning of fossil fuels. So you can see how it's gone up. It's kind of leveled off here. But to give you an idea of why so many people are passionately opposing the Mountain Valley Pipeline and the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, is if they are completed, they will have greenhouse emissions to the equivalent of 45 coal-powered plants. So you can see the global surface temperature departure from the average starting back in 1880. Oops. Okay. 1880 to the estimate for 2020. These are the 16 of the 17 hottest years on record. The hottest year so far has been 2016. 2018 is right behind it and close. The global ocean heat content has gone up, as you can see, substantially. And this leads us to the changes in the hydraulic cycle. The amount of water vapor that evaporates off the oceans is increasing as the oceans warm. That water vapor is carried over the land and often falls in much bigger precipitation events. When the land can't absorb all the water that falls in these larger storms and downpours, we see floods and mudslides. And that is a slide taken in Montana in 2010 of a huge supercell column of rain. That is just a big dump of rain.
Wow.
It's huge. Some people wonder how there can be drops when we're talking about so much rain. But the same extra heat that evaporates more water from the ocean also causes the bigger downpours and floods, pulls moisture even more quickly from the soil, causing longer and deeper droughts. It also changes the weather patterns, so places that used to get regular rainfall don't. And here's a picture from Brazil that was taken during the drought in 2015 and 2016. So hotter years typically have more fires. Today, the fire season in the western U.S. is more than 100 days longer than it was in the 1970s. So the insurance market has been, industry has been keeping track of this. They have been tracking the extreme weather events that have been going up worldwide. In 2016 alone, these disasters caused losses totaling over $175 billion. Here is an unnamed glacier in Greenland, and this was taken in the summer of 1935. Here we are in the summer of 2013. It's a river there. You can see all the water that's just flowing and not frozen anymore. So NASA has been recording the declining ice mass in Greenland, and you can see how it's dramatically gone down. There's a little dip up. Hopefully that's encouraging. So when all that Arctic ice melts, it goes and causes the sea levels to rise. This is a slide taken on a sunny day in Miami. There hadn't been any rainfall. Notice the flooding on the streets. That's what's happening in Miami Beach, as well as other coastal cities when there's high tides. They're just getting flooded. No rain. That's because of the sea level rise. So the top 10 cities at risk from sea level rise are listed there. You're starting with Miami, and you'll see that New York and Newark is third on the list. Then has to talk about risk as far as the money that's there. As far as the population goes, this is a slide that tells you the places with the highest populations that's at risk. Notice that Miami's towards the bottom of the list. But the question is, if all these people are displaced, where are they going to go? The U.S. Department of Defense in 2014 warned us climate change will likely lead to food and water shortages, pandemic diseases, disputes over refugees, and natural disasters in regions across the globe. David Lobel from Stanford University said, I think there's been an under-recognition of just how sensitive crops are to heat and how fast heat exposure is increasing. And the crops don't have the same nutrients that they used to, studies are shown. But here's a global map of the tropical diseases that are on the move now because of the earth being warmed up. We now risk losing up to 50% of all land-based species in this century. Along the Mountain Valley Pipeline route, there are 22 federally listed threatened, endangered, candidate, or special concern species potentially in the vicinity of the projects, and 20 state-listed or special concern species, including the endangered Roanoke log perch. So this is the cost of carbon. It's the #1 threat to the global economy and much, much more. So, must we change?
Yes.
Yes.
See.
Can we change?
Yes.
The answer to this question is very, very exciting and positive. We have the solutions at hand. This is a slide showing the 2000 projection of wind capacity, that they thought it would reach 30 gigawatts by 2010. We exceeded that goal 16 times by 2016. There you can see that wind energy capacity and how it's risen so quickly. How about solar? Solar, they thought it would grow by 1 gigawatt by the year 2010. By 2016, it had exceeded that by 75 times. There you can see the installations going way up. And you can see the cost of it going down from around $79 a watt down to 41 cents a watt. Now check out the Chilean solar market. Pay attention to this slide, because you'll see it starts at 11 megawatts in 2013, goes up to 402, goes up to 848, and then check this out. That slide that I just, whoops, backwards, whoops, there. That first slide I showed you is down here. This is what they're doing now. Chile has an additional 13.3 gigawatts of solar projects approved or under construction. This is the type of stuff that we can do. There's enough solar energy that reaches the Earth every hour to fill all the world's energy needs for a full year. We just have to store it. And there's good news when it comes to storage. Battery storage is coming down in cost and is becoming more accessible. There's more of it. LED lights energy efficiency is causing it we don't need as much energy to meet our needs. Look at all the auto manufacturers that are making electric vehicles. In the 2015 Paris Agreement, virtually every nation in the world agreed to work together to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions. Look at the People's Climate March, all the people that came out 2 years ago in Washington, D.C. How many people were there? Join those who are using their voices, their votes, their choices to fight the climate crisis. Use your voice, your vote, your choices. Speak truth to power, like your world depends on it. Because your world, our world, does depend on it. Thank you.
Yeah, she wants me to record the next lady too, and then we're done. If you don't mind taking turns. Thanks, I appreciate it, and then I'm good. She wanted me to record the other one.
Thank you. Our next guest is co-chair of Green New Deal Virginia and is a volunteer for the Sierra Club. Lee Ann Williams has been active in the struggle against fracking and pipelines for the past 6 years, but she got her start as an environmental advocate in 1972 when she collected signatures for Greenpeace to stop the clubbing of baby park seals in Alaska. It was her first victory, and she became an impassioned defender of our natural resources on that day. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome Lee Ann Williams.
Thanks very much. I'm going to hide it over here so I don't block the slides. Good evening. I'm Lee Williams. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and I'm really excited to be here with you all tonight. It's my first public engagement in Roanoke, and I'm thrilled to be back here. It's beautiful. The mountains surrounding here is just outstanding. I just wanted to pick up where the Sunrise Youth led off. Actually, with a fun fact. So did you know that every 2 minutes, enough solar energy hits the planet to power all of humanity for a year? Every 2 minutes. So why don't we have solar panels on every horizontal structure?
Right.
So that being said, I wanted to pick up where the youth left off. So in November, there were 1,000 kids in all over Capitol Hill, raising their voices, standing in solidarity with environmental justice communities and climate distressed communities. And it was just a month and a half, 2 months after the National Climate Report came out and the IPCC report came out. And a few weeks later, Delegate Sam Razul and Delegate Elizabeth Guzman thought, hey, we need to do this in Virginia. We can't wait for the federal government to do this for us. We need to do it here. So they put their heads together, made a couple phone calls. And they got Food and Water Watch, Sierra Club, NAACP, Sunrise Movement, of course, Chesapeake Climate Action Network, Virginia Interfaith Power and Light, just to name a few. We now have 93 coalition partners across the state of Virginia. And a lot of them are right here in the Roanoke area, because of the home team favorite. I knew I'd mess it up. All right, so as of today, we have 14 delegates in Virginia and 1 senator, and Congressman Jerry Connolly, Congressman Don Bayer, and Congressman Bobby Scott on the federal level. I'm going to read everyone's names. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Those are the candidates. There we go. All right. Delegate Dawn Adams, Sam Roswell, Elizabeth Guzman, Lee Carter, Carrie Delaney, Kelly Fowler, Patrick Hope, Mark Keene, Alfonso Lopez, Kay Corey, Ken Plum, Deborah Rodman, Mark Levine, and Senator Barbara Favola. And we have 28 candidates. Round of applause, please. So, what we are trying to do in Virginia is a little bit different from the federal level. We are seeking to fight or tackle the climate crisis and toxic pollution, create good high-paying jobs, fight racial, economic, and gender inequality, but also the fourth goal of the Green New Deal is to support Virginia agricultural endeavors. So we have a just and equitable 100% renewable plan that leaves no workers or communities behind. Direct large investments and job training programs in renewables, including where available, union-sponsored job training programs. Clean water and air for all Virginians. Investments in local-scale agriculture in communities across Virginia. So we're trying to fight, just like on the federal level, the two linked crises of climate and inequity.
I'll hold it if you get to
Obviously, climate pollution, jobs, and equity.
I'm just trying to go between that and her.
I'm going to skip. Oh. I seem to have lost sorry, the full view. I pushed the button I shouldn't have pushed. Thanks. So we are moving forward with our coalition partners to a summit this weekend in Richmond, Virginia. We have about 60 confirmed attendees and some speakers, but what we're going to do is drill down. So you see the base of our platform for the Green New Deal is the four that I just mentioned: create good, high-paying jobs, support farmers, and expand sustainable, locally sourced agriculture, tackle the climate crisis and toxic pollution, and fight racial, economic, and gender inequality. Above those, you'll see the four planks, which are unique to Virginia, which is a little separate from the federal level, in that we add the investment in local-scale agriculture in communities across Virginia. We recognize that a big part of carbon sequestration is based on farming practices, and there's also a component that's not addressed on the federal level around transportation that we're going to delve deeper into. But what we're going to do at this summit is try to figure out what legislative planks are going to be supporting our themes and our goals, and we will break up into working groups and talk amongst ourselves. Our coalition partners, if you saw on, if you go back, we have a number of working groups, labor groups, frontline communities, a lot of social justice and environmental justice groups are in our coalition. And as Sam likes to say, we are trying to break down the silos so everyone can work in a more diverse pattern. And so we're going to look at these themes and these goals and work towards supplying our legislators with the tools to formulate these policies as we go forward in the next legislative session. We have conducted a poll. We have over 100 issues that we've identified as a coalition, and we're trying to narrow those down with the democratic process. People are voting right now online before the summit to take our top 20 to 25 issues into the summit, because we have to look at our intersectionality. So if I can find that slide again. So the Venn diagram that had jobs, climate, and equity, we need to find the intersectionality of all three of those and to find the platform for our Green New Deal. And I will end on applause. Thank you very much for your time.